On January 5, 2010, a high school student uploaded a video titled Fourth Dimension Explained by a High School Student. With an astonishing 36 million views to date, this video is one of the most popular that details the fourth dimension. It captured the attention of viewers with its captivating portrayal of a young individual who possesses an unexpectedly profound voice, skillfully elucidating an incredibly intricate concept, surpassing the abilities of most science educators. Hat Guy, after a hiatus of several years, resumed uploading videos, delving into contemplations on the socio-economic aspects of the world. He displayed a profound understanding of each topic, surpassing his age. His series of 10 videos garnered millions of views, solidifying his position in the annals of the internet. However, unexpectedly, he ceased producing content. Hat Guy's last video, posted on December 20th, 2013, came without any prior indication that it would mark the end of his online presence. His sudden disappearance caused many to speculate about what had happened. Even though his fans were initially supportive, they eventually had to accept that their beloved young philosopher would probably never come back. He explained during the video that a one-dimensional world only allows for linear movement, while a two-dimensional world allows for movement in any direction, and a three-dimensional world has depth, length, and height. Understanding the fourth dimension requires understanding how two-dimensional beings perceive objects and how we perceive objects in 3 dimensions. A two-dimensional organism does not perceive anything happening to it as it grows and moves away, but we can see it from a 3-dimensional perspective and perceive it as expanding. After his disappearance, many questioned whether he had made a breakthrough during his research and that this led to his disappearance. However, on September 4, 2019, after nearly 6 years of being absent, Hat Guy reappeared, appearing older, but with a voice that was still recognizable. In a video, he shares the story of why he abruptly stopped uploading content to his channel and provides updates on what he has been doing in his personal and professional life. The reason for his sudden silence was because he had forgotten his password, and he expresses his disappointment at being unable to retrieve it. He further reveals that he is on the autism spectrum and emphasizes that his diagnosis has played a significant role in shaping his identity. Hat Guy expresses that his focus shifted towards his health, prompting him to explore alternative medicine. Additionally, he made the decision to leave college due to his belief that it promoted conformity. Since then, he has dedicated his efforts to developing his own comprehensive theory of achieving optimal health. Presently, Hat Guy lives with his wife. This video caused many to research and take an interest in the fourth dimension. The concept of the fourth dimension, as it currently stands, is deeply entwined within the realms of theoretical physics and mathematics, and it represents an intriguing realm of possibilities that challenges our perception of the universe. In the everyday realm, we live in a 3-dimensional world, which consists of 3 spatial dimensions: length, width, and height. These are the dimensions we can perceive and navigate. However, scientific and mathematical theories often delve into the prospect of additional dimensions beyond our perception. The fourth dimension is one such concept that has been widely debated and discussed. In the context of classical physics, the fourth dimension is generally referred to as time. This idea was first proposed by Albert Einstein in his groundbreaking theory of special relativity. Einstein presented time as an inseparable companion to the 3 spatial dimensions, creating a unified 4-dimensional space-time continuum. In this concept, the 3 spatial dimensions outline where something is, while the 4th dimension of time establishes when it is. This revolutionary idea fundamentally changed our understanding of the universe. It suggested that space and time are not independent entities, but are interconnected and influenced by mass and energy. This theoretical approach has been remarkably successful in explaining a vast array of physical phenomena, from the behavior of black holes to the expansion of the universe. On the other hand, in the realm of speculative physics and mathematics, the 4th dimension can be viewed as an additional spatial dimension, one that we can't perceive but can mathematically demonstrate. This perspective emerges particularly in the framework of string theory, which postulates the existence of up to 11 dimensions. The hypothetical 4-dimensional space, known as hyperspace, is beyond our comprehension as we can only visualize 3 dimensions. The concept of a fourth spatial dimension presents interesting implications. For example, a hypothetical four-dimensional being could, in theory, see all sides of a three-dimensional object simultaneously, much like we can perceive all aspects of a two-dimensional drawing at once. However, it's crucial to remember that our understanding of the fourth dimension, whether temporal or spatial, is primarily theoretical and mathematical. There's still no empirical evidence for the existence of a fourth spatial dimension. Yet, its exploration has led to considerable advancements in theoretical physics, pushing the boundaries of human understanding. Moreover, the concept of the fourth dimension is a potent tool for thought experiments, inspiring artists, writers, and filmmakers to explore ideas of higher dimensions and parallel universes. As of right now, the fourth dimension, whether interpreted as time or an additional spatial parameter, represents a complex and fascinating aspect of theoretical understanding. It stretches the limits of human comprehension, providing intriguing possibilities about the nature of the universe. While it remains predominantly in the realm of theoretical physics and mathematics, the concept continues to inspire scientific inquiry, philosophical debate, and artistic creativity.
Mysterious object on Saturn's moons. One of the things that is usually certain about the lifeless planets orbiting the Sun is the fact that things rarely change. Scientists looking at two satellite images of the same location on a distant planet, taken sometimes years apart, might find themselves playing the world's hardest game of spot the difference. However, an image taken of a lake on one of Saturn's moons caused researchers to do a double take, as a strange formation had emerged. And, in an even stranger turn of events, the formation disappeared just as suddenly as it had appeared, leaving scientists with little clue as to what it could be, where it had come from, and where it might have gone. The image was taken by NASA's Cassini probe as it circled around Titan, Saturn's largest moon, and one of the most varied landscapes of the solar system besides our own planet Earth. Larger than Mercury and over 1 billion kilometers from Earth, Titan is the only moon in our solar system with an atmosphere composition similar to Earth's, but with a much higher surface pressure. It is also the only place in the entire solar system other than Earth that has liquids, as its surface is made up of liquid hydrocarbons flowing in rivers, lakes, and oceans that can reach hundreds of kilometers across and hundreds of meters deep, next to rolling dunes and mountains. It was in one of these lakes that the white blob appeared in the northern hemisphere of Titan. The lake in question is called Legaia Mare and is estimated to be over 150 meters deep, with the strange formation measuring around 19 kilometers wide and 9 kilometers deep, and materializing about 10 kilometers off the shore. Interestingly, the mysterious figure was absent in satellite images taken just 16 days after the initial photo. Although Titan's lakes are generally totally smooth due to the lack of wind in its atmosphere, it is thought that the formation could be initial deep-sea waves as Titan's northern hemisphere begins to slowly rotate closer to the Sun. Other theories include floating icebergs, a rush of bubbles or matter being released from deep within the stagnant sea, or something suspended in the liquid below the surface. However, as the formation was absent from subsequent photos taken of the location, scientists are forced to theorize based on just one image, meaning that unless it mysteriously reappears again, we may likely never know exactly what it was that was changing on such a static planet. What made the discovery so interesting is that planetary scientists believe that if there truly is life somewhere outside of Earth's atmosphere, then they will find it lurking deep in the lakes, rivers, and oceans of Titan. Because of the interesting composition of Titan, there is a possibility that any existing life on the surface of this moon could be very chemically different from life on Earth, so scientists study any changes or outlying formations on the surface of Titan very closely. Although this discovery left us with more questions than answers, perhaps it is the next step in discovering life outside of our Earth. Carbon dioxide confirmed on the Moon. We are always looking for gases and compounds on other planets that resemble what we see on Earth. While we have heard many whispers of water on Mars that could indicate life, One lesser heard conversation is that of carbon dioxide on the Moon. Though after decades of theorizing and questioning, it seems as though we might have an answer. Researchers as of November 2021 seem to have found lunar carbon dioxide cold traps that could have solid carbon dioxide components. Some areas of our Moon are constantly shadowed, shrouded in darkness, with little impact from the Sun in these areas. The temperatures can drop lower than those of Pluto. With such staggeringly low temperatures, cold traps are able to form. Cold traps are areas so cold that volatile substances can freeze and become solid. So why does it really make a difference if the CO2 is solid or not? If the carbon dioxide is solid, this means that it can be used to prolong lunar research. In the future, when we send explorers up, whether they are human or robotic, this solid carbon dioxide can provide the necessary materials for fuel and materials for longer expeditions. Furthermore, increasing our understanding of how volatile substances interact on the Moon could help us with research into how water, amongst other elements and compounds, form and may appear on the Moon. Despite this new research confirming the existence of and mapping out the areas for carbon dioxide cold traps, the idea of cold traps has been included in discussions and predictions by planetary scientists for years. To begin confirming these theories and suggestions, researchers used 11 years' worth of temperature data from the Diviner Lunar Radiometer experiment, a high-tech piece of equipment aboard NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. The 2021 research published in the AGU Journal Geophysical Research Letters shows that a number of the cold traps are focused on the lunar south pole. They span 204 square kilometers. The most concentrated area is in the Amundsen crater, which is home to 84 square kilometers of cold traps. Here, the temperatures never seem to exceed 60 degrees Kelvin, which is about minus 352 degrees Fahrenheit. Despite the exciting and promising aspects of this discovery, it is important to remember that just because there are cold traps on the Moon does not mean that there are solid forms of carbon dioxide, just that there could potentially be. Norbert Schorghofer, a planetary scientist at the Planetary Science Institute and the lead author of this study, said, "My surprise was that the cold traps are actually definitely there. There are plenty of missions to track down aspects of research that go by unsuccessfully, with years of more studying before being able to confirm any of the theories at all. This research continues to be highly promising. While at the moment all we can confirm is the existence of cold traps, it will not be long before these discoveries have much greater, more practical applications, from rocket fuel to finding water." There is a huge void near our galaxy. One fact about the cosmic world might be surprising. Galaxies are unevenly clustered around the universe, clumping together at random. Despite the assumption of some, one galaxy does not begin when another one ends. Instead, they are spread all throughout. We are part of something dubbed the Local Group, which consists of our very own Milky Way and the nearby Andromeda Galaxy, with a cluster of tiny dwarf galaxies surrounding us. It is close to the Milky Way that the Local Void resides. The Local Void is a structure in our cosmic neighborhood, so to speak, that contains nearly no galaxies proper, dwarf or otherwise. The Milky Way borders the void directly. Our galaxy, however, is moving further away from the void at about 260 kilometers per second. This is a result of the fact that matter attracts matter. This is also the reason as to why such voids exist. Because of the way gravity works, matter clumps together, thus leaving chunks of space completely devoid of anything at all. These voids, thus, only increase in their size as time goes on and more matter compacts together. Nothingness in space is significantly more common than galaxies or stars or planets. The Cosmic Flows 3 chart depicts over 17,000 galaxies near our Milky Way, and it also depicts the cosmic void. The point of the cosmic flow is to showcase an accurate compendium of our observable nearby universe. The space voids are an incredibly interesting subject because learning more about them could help us better understand dark matter and how it works. Unfortunately, it is a Herculean task to try and study the local void as it resides right behind the central Milky Way, meaning seeing into it is virtually impossible as of right now. Scientists will have to find an alternative way to study the void other than visually searching for it. Researchers did, however, find a way to trace the dwarf galaxies nearby when it comes to monitoring the void. They found that the nearest dwarf galaxy to the void travels at a shocking 350 kilometers per second. This speed suggests that the size of the void must be immense, for the faster something travels away from the void, the weaker its gravity. Thus, the larger it must be. The knowledge that we live merely 150 million light-years away from this enormous empty void might sound frightening for some, but fortunately, there is absolutely no risk of us getting sucked into it. It is not a black hole. It is simply an area of space that lacks matter. In a handful of centuries, we will be much further away from it. Missing black hole with 10 billion solar masses. When it comes to space, there is one thing that we have all heard about: black holes. Books, movies, and TV love to feature this celestial phenomenon. Though our grasp of understanding is rather tenuous, it seems that a black hole exists at the very center of each galaxy, drawing anything and everything into it with its unparalleled gravitational pull. As such, it seems that keeping track of black holes would be the easy part. If they are so huge, monumental, and powerful, how could one go missing? Even so, that is exactly what happened with this black hole. About a decade ago, Dr. Mark Postman, a member of the Space Telescope Science Institute, was surveying surrounding galaxies with the famous Hubble Space Telescope. While surveying, Dr. Postman found a supergiant galaxy now referred to as A2261 BCG, with no black hole at the center. Indeed, the finding was exceedingly strange. An expert of galactic nuclei at the National Optical Infrared Astronomy Research Laboratory in Tucson, Arizona, Todd Lauer, added that the absence of the black hole was really unusual. According to everything we know about black holes, this supergiant galaxy must have one at its center. This black hole is expected to house 10 billion solar masses, while the black hole at the center of our own galaxy, the Milky Way, has only 4 billion. It seems impossible and unfathomable that a black hole of this size has simply evaded notice or attention. So what exactly is happening? Using the ideas postulated by three astronomers, Mitchell Begelman, Martin Rees, and Robert Blandford, one theory says that A2261 BCG originally had two black holes that eventually combined and turned into nothing. Of course, if the burst was unequal on both sides, the impact could have sent one of the black holes flying through the galaxy. However, after analysing and surveying A2261 BCG even further, scientists found something interesting. The diffuse core of the galaxy seems to house 4 little knots of light, causing some to think that the black hole's gravitational pull is keeping them there. Sarah Birks-Ballor of West Virginia University led a surveying team with the hopes of untangling what the 4 knots could be. They found that 2 of them were most likely 2 smaller galaxies existing inside the main galaxy. Hubble was unable to provide enough details on the other 2 knots to reach a sound conclusion. Luckily, Hubble's successor, the James Webb Space Telescope, was launched in late 2021. Astronomers are hopeful that a telescope of this power and magnitude will be able to describe the 4 knots in detail and tell us the location of the missing black hole. Despite how improbable it seems that a black hole housing 10 billion solar masses could evade detection for so long, it just goes to show that outer space holds more mysteries than we ever thought. Monsterquake on Mars is the biggest ever recorded. Since 2018, scientists have been waiting for Mars to have an earthquake. A seismometer was placed on the red planet and for years has recorded the wavelengths in hopes of registering a quake. Now, that has finally happened. And it's a colossal quake, at least in Martian terms. The InSight Mars lander used by NASA to detect quakes has registered a quake with a magnitude of 5 temblors at the start of May 2022. This is hardly the first quake that the InSight seismometer has detected. In the past few years, there have been over 1,300 quakes on Mars, but none as intense as this one. InSight's principal investigator, Bruce Bannert states, "Since we set our seismometer down in December 2018, we've been waiting for the big one." Bannert is part of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California, which is the NASA jurisdiction responsible for the project. The magnitude of 5 is equal to a medium-sized earthquake felt on our planet, and Andrew Good, who also works for the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, claims that there are similarities between both quakes. According to him, the magnitude scale we use for Mars is calibrated to be as equivalent as possible to the seismic movement between Earth and Mars. Allegedly, these quakes are precisely what Andrew Good and his team hoped to see when they sent the seismometer to Mars. The seismic waves reflect material in the planet's crust, core, and mantle. With this data, scientists are able to study the depth of Mars's internal underground layers to see how they are formed and how they actually work, as well as whether the formation of Mars's core and mantle are similar, the same, or entirely different to Earth's. Bannert claims, "This quake is sure to provide a view into the planet like no other. Scientists will be analyzing this data to learn new things about Mars for years to come." Although the InSight project was granted an extension until the year's end, NASA stated that it's not going to last much longer given that Mars's dust storms and winds will accumulate on its solar panels. Mars is the first non-terrestrial planet on which NASA has managed to place an active seismometer that can record its quakes. This is the biggest quake recorded on another planet, even if to us it is a medium-strength quake. The largest quake previously recorded on Mars was a magnitude of 4.2 back in 2021. Mars quakes of this magnitude are, as far as we know, very mild and uncommon to rise this high. Therefore, in terms of Mars, it's been described by scientists involved as a monster quake. This research could help scientists understand how planets like Mars and Earth formed in the first place. Even the wind on Mars can interfere with the data and corrupt it. Therefore, InSight's seismometer was made to be far more perceptive and withstanding. Volcanic activity might be a cause for some of Mars's quakes, but scientists are still unsure where or how they originate. Future data will help to further understand the way Mars as a planet works. Currently, InSight is dealing with technical difficulties. The Martian winter was cruel, and it will surely lose all power by the end of 2022 and is currently in hibernation mode. This means that it shut down all power except for its most vital functions. There is a possibility another seismometer will be sent to Mars at a later date to replace it. The James Webb Telescope captures Jupiter in a new light. JWST has proven to be very useful for scientists in more ways than one. In addition to its utility in detecting biosignatures of other planets, it has also captured beautiful new photographs of Jupiter. The telescope was built to deliver breathtaking images of faraway galaxies and regions, and while it has accomplished doing so, the newest images of Jupiter are hard to overlook. These images are interesting and different from those previously taken. The observatory's near-infrared spectrograph is a powerful technology that finds infrared light and reveals important information. It's the same technology that detected water and gas on the exoplanets so far away. Recently, JWST was directed at Jupiter so that scientists could gain insight into the planet using this newer technology. What it revealed was something they had never seen before. 2 images through 3 filters, highlighting cloud bands, various storms, and auroral emissions. In these photographs, Jupiter's equatorial zone looks bright because the hazes have such high altitudes they reflect the sunlight, and the same is the case for Jupiter's red spot. Other areas containing small storms appear whitish or reddish-white. On the other hand, the green and bluish-coloured areas are signals of clouds buried deep in the Jovian atmosphere, and they are a different colour because of how the light reflects off of them. The significance of JWST comes also from its ability to capture the faint rings surrounding Jupiter alongside the planet itself, within the same image. Not only do the details of the clouds and storms on Jupiter's atmosphere remain, but despite it being 1,000,000 times brighter than the rings are still apparent, as are 2 moons, which are faint but still visible in the photograph. Even the background of the image, which we might assume would be completely black and unimpressive, reveals further information about Jupiter and its surroundings. From small details, such as blurry spots of light that scientists think could be galaxies far away that photobombed the image, to the scattered light and diffracted spikes from Jupiter's aurorae and bright moon, the photograph is breathtaking both artistically and scientifically. Holm 15A Black Hole. Whilst it may not be the most massive of black holes, the Holm 15A black hole has a very interesting backstory and is by no means a small black hole. It's essentially the second most massive black hole in the entire universe. Whilst observing the Abell 85 cluster, the Max Planck Institute discovered something truly incredible. The Abell 85 cluster is a collection of around 500 galaxies, but what we're interested in is what lies at the very centre of this cluster of galaxies, the Holm 15A galaxy. Early calculations from scientists indicated that the centre of the Holm 15A was much more dimmer than it perhaps should have been when taking into account the astronomical mass of the stars that are located within the galaxy. All of this indicated that there was something different about Holm 15A's centre. Well, it turned out to be a black hole, but not just any black hole. After attempting to measure the mass of said black hole, the scientists discovered the estimates were much larger than first thought, and in fact, this black hole, now dubbed an ultramassive black hole, has a mass of around 40 billion times that of our Sun. That is a staggering number, and there's no real way to comprehend something of that scale. However, it is fascinating nonetheless. You might be wondering how something as massive as this ultramassive black hole could even exist within a galaxy, given the size of our own. Well, Holm 15A is a giant galaxy known as an elliptical galaxy. An elliptical galaxy is formed when a spiral galaxy, such as our own, the Milky Way, merges within another spiral galaxy. It goes further though, as this newly formed elliptical galaxy can then merge with another elliptical galaxy, creating an even bigger galaxy. When these galaxies merge together, the black holes in their centers can also merge, and exactly like the galaxies themselves, create an even larger black hole. When these black holes collide and get larger, it can push stars away, forming the darker center. This is how scientists discovered the Holm 15A black hole. Whilst the Holm 15A black hole is the most massive in the nearby universe, being only 700 million light-years away from us, the previous entry on this list actually trumps the Holm 15A ultramassive black hole. The TON 618 quasar ultramassive black hole is more massive, but is located 10 billion light-years away, so cannot be considered to reside in the nearby universe. NASA spots mysterious flashes of green and blue from a faraway galaxy. Science fiction has grabbed the hearts of many over the years. Whether it's alien invasions here on Earth or a mission set way off in space, it's impossible to deny the impact the big, wide, infinite depth of the universe has had upon the genre. One trope that plenty of us are familiar with is a mysterious flash of light. In 2019, a study published in the Astrophysical Journal detailed NASA's observation of a series of mysterious blue and green flashes from a distant galaxy. These colourful bursts of light lasted just a cosmic second and marks the beginning of a mystery in deep space that we are yet to be able to solve. The NuSTAR X-ray Observatory, or the Nuclear Spectroscopic Telescope Array, is an X-ray telescope set up in space. NASA's NuSTAR is used to focus light on X-rays, a region of high energy on the electromagnetic spectrum. With the help of NuSTAR, we can develop our understanding of the dynamics of black holes, stars, and their explosions, as well as entire galaxies, should they show enough activity. NuSTAR is what let us first make this strange observation, as multiple dots of blue and green lights were seen appearing and then vanishing over the course of a little over a week. Following the initial sighting, NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory also managed to spot the comings and goings of the green spot of light. Hannah Earnshaw, a postdoctoral researcher at Caltech, said, 10 days is a really short amount of time for such a bright object to appear. She went on to explain how NuSTAR usually gives us information notably different than what was observed here. Earnshaw explained,
That new star usually reveals more gradual changes over a much longer period of time, not often this short and repeated observation on one source in such fast succession. She described the team as fortunate, elaborating that it is exciting for them to have seen this quick changing source. These flashes, blobs, or dots of blue and green light are more scientifically known as an ultraluminous X-ray source, or ULX. It's not a particularly rare feat to observe ULXs in space, as this blue and green instance makes already the 4th sighting within this one galaxy alone. But it's odd that these were such short flashes. Usually we expect ULXs to be long-lived, though this instance lasted for just a cosmic second at a time. The team has been able to rule out the possibility of a supernova thanks to the duration coupled with the visible light detection. So, if we have ruled out a supernova and exploding star, what other theories are left? Researchers have proposed several possibilities, including that it is a black hole swallowing another object. It's an established phenomenon that when objects move too close to a black hole, the gravitational force can be so great as to pull apart the object and have the debris closely orbit around the black hole, forming a disk that, in turn, emits X-rays. Another current theory, given the seemingly repetitive nature of the ULXs, suggests that these flashes could be a neutron star. Neutron stars have a mass like our own Sun and are formed after a supernova from the dense core that is left behind. What's more is that neutron stars are capable of bringing material into a disk of debris too, which, once again, can be the starting point of a ULX. One hiccup in this theory, however, is that the speed at which a neutron star may spin could result in a magnetic field taking on the role of a barrier, preventing any material to getting to the surface of the star at all, consequently preventing the X-ray source. We still have questions as to what precisely happened with these flashes. As our technology continues to develop, we might find out more limiting factors or ones that help our case, letting us narrow down just what possibilities lie in store for us. But what do you make of these recent discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.